UTI, and we help aviation companies sell more of their products and services.
John Williams, and I work for her and what she said. I do the back end stuff for IT and CFO kinds of things.
Hi, I'm Debbie Murphy. I'm with JetBrokers, and we help our clients buy and sell jets.
Wow.
That's good. Short, to the point.
My name's Wendy Harris. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing for the Av Center, located here in Idaho. We have 4 FBOs, as well as a Charter 135 operation.
My name's Ashley Harris. I'm actually Wendy's daughter. I work for American Aero down here in Fort Worth, Texas, and I am just recently starting as an air concierge and a CSR. So I'll be taking over the Instagram side of things, and I just love to take some notes and see some pointers here on how to best take that over.
Wonderful. Well, it's good to have you both, and that's kind of cool that you guys work in a similar field, and so you can spend some time together and that kind of thing. We have a family business as well, so that's cool. Lots of those in the aviation industry. And
Okay, Mark Parry with Global Aircraft Group, appraisals, expert witness, and accident aircraft insurance adjusting.
Cool. And it sounds like you were just doing some of that outside, so that's cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen for just a second because Debbie has a very cool, find it here. Speaking of technical fun. So this is a really cool post, and I think it has a lot of the things visually that we're looking for in on Instagram, and some of the things that make Instagram really, really cool. It's got, JetBrokers branding. It's got a scrolling video. So, when you're scrolling through Instagram, you see something scrolling within the scroll, and that makes you automatically stop and go, what the heck? So it grabs your attention, and it also really showcases this is what you get when you follow JetBrokers on Instagram. Debbie, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this post and how you put it together. And
it's actually done in mostly in Canva, but I have other elements that I create using other graphic programs like the Follow Us on Instagram and some of the other things I have that I make in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. But I put most of this together in Canva that you use all the time. There's actually a template that has this phone in it. So I just changed everything but the phone and put my branding colors.
Yeah.
And I made that video. If you have an iPhone, you can actually record your screen on iPhone, and you can save it as a video. Well, it gets saved as a video, and I just imported that into Canva, and that's how I made it.
Right.
It wasn't very hard. I saw somebody else do it. I got this idea of the phone scrolling from somebody else, and I thought that's a really good idea.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you do so well is you take things from other industries and everything else, and then you figure out how to make it work for JetBrokers. And I think that's really cool because you're not just looking for, what are the other brokers doing? You're not looking for, you're also catching things from, fashion and from other places. And, because a lot of people will look at that and say, well, that doesn't apply to me. And they just, and a lot of people, I think, dismiss, and John, I'm talking to you, will look at Instagram and say, well, that is not really useful for my industry.
I didn't say industry.
Okay.
Just me.
We get, as Paula knows, we get the most, that's where we get the most traffic.
Yeah.
For what I produce, which is interesting. But it's just happened to be where it is.
Yeah, you get a ton of engagement on Instagram, and then you also get a ton of traffic from Instagram to your website.
I do.
Yeah. So
people love planes. They love pretty skies, and they love planes.
Exactly. Which is a wonderful thing. And I don't know if maybe we can just kind of go around the room and talk about if you're currently using Instagram and what tools you're using to use Instagram with. I use Instagram. I use mostly Canva. Most of our group, it's included in our services to use a product called Canva, and that uses the collaboration tools and other things so that we can work with clients, directly on posts and things like that. And then we also produce some template. And John, you don't use Instagram at all, right? At the moment. Okay. And Debbie, you use everything.
Yes. I use that, and all the other, whatever I produce, I pretty much produce for everywhere.
Yeah.
In the appropriate size. Mm-hmm. So it makes a lot of content over time, and it helps people look for our information.
Yeah. And then it's got some nice templates for reels versus posts versus, whatever else you want to do.
Oh, in Canva, you can make whatever your template is. And then you can also say, I want to make a copy and resize it to the other appropriate sizes for different media. So it's like a really quick way of formatting your post correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I often make a series of posts in Canva about, say, I do aviation quotes. I'll find my quotes and I'll make whatever they are, all of them at once. I don't use them all at once, but I make them all at once in Canva, so they look similar and they look like our brand.
Yeah.
And that way you're done with it, and then you can use it over a few months.
Right. Now, I think that's really a good use of time to do the batching, where you're doing, a ton of very similar posts, but then you schedule them out over time. That extends your brand, builds your brand equity, is what they call it.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you look at Debbie's posts, you can see they are all branded, but they all have a slightly different sky. Even if it's the same airplane, they have there are differences in each of those posts that I think is really cool.
Well, I believe you should entertain your audience.
Yeah.
So that means you can't bore them. You need to change up. You can't do the same thing all the time. So that's why I do that, because I would find it boring to look at. So I don't want to bore everybody else.
Right. Wendy, are you using Instagram currently, and what tools are you using? And
we had a gal that was doing that for us that's just currently left. So just wrapping up a few things on the charter side and then taking that over. So that's why I'm just trying to actually just get back involved, find out what is everybody using and what's popular. So just taking notes and, trying to learn myself right now.
Fantastic. Do you know what the previous person used? So maybe you can take over some of.
I know she did reels, used the reels a little bit and stuff, but she didn't, not a lot, just she was just learning as well. So just kind of normal posts and taking them from our Facebook and our other social media that we've used. So and sharing them.
Exactly. And if you can sometimes take over some of those files, then you can adjust, make adjustments to them and update them and use them again. It might save you some work.
Right.
Especially if you're starting from scratch. So
correct.
Ashley, what about you? Are you using Instagram, and what are you? Oh my goodness. I think we lost your audio again. Oh, okay. Let's come back to you. Let's, Mark, I know we're probably doing most of your Instagram for you, but are you posting at all on Instagram?
No.
Okay. So you're just doing what we're doing for you.
But I would love to be on Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Right.
My business, the Facebook. Anyway, I've been putting I put most of my time into Facebook.
Yeah, I know Facebook is kind of your drug of choice, and it's pretty easy to post from Facebook to Instagram as well. So that's kind of a nice.
Yeah, I went on there the other day and I noticed that you would put some stuff on there, and then there was stuff happening on there. but I've never used it. I always thought it was the younger people, the non-Facebook generation was using Instagram, and well, evidently that's changing.
Right, right. Ashley, let's come back to you. Being a younger person, what do you? It's good to hear your voice on this.
Yes. So actually, Instagram is a great way to reach, especially the younger generation. Mm-hmm. And at my SBO, I've been noticing that we actually have a flight school right next to us. We have 2 flight schools. One's rotary, one's fixed wing. And the amount of new faces that we see coming in, I think Instagram is going to be a huge tool to help recognize us, and as well as other people throughout the charter industry, and then everything like that. So some tools, I'm just breaking into it, like I said. So, yeah. But also, I know that VSCO is one of them that a lot of kids, or not kids, but young adults like to use, because so many different templates, and you can edit photos and videos to match the same sort of, because it all has to flow. Yeah. So what I've heard of a lot of people doing is going on to VSCO and creating their own template style, kind of similar with Canva as well. So that all their posts match this certain aesthetic. As they're posting that, I'm sorry, I'm being joined by my cat. But that is something that I've been into, as well as I've used Canva in my college days as well, and I really like that. So that's a great experience to bring to Instagram. I never thought of that. So
excellent. No, that's great. And I think the VSCO tool has a lot of cool filters and things, so that you can make your photos look consistent. So I think and also make things more fun. That's something I've been trying to learn from my son. He does ASVAB tutoring. He's been doing a lot of videos of his dogs. Speaking of dogs and cats, they're very popular no matter what your industry is. And so he'll include his dogs in a lot of his reels where he's talking about math problems, and he'll show this dog's doing math problems or whatever. And it's a really nice way of making a dry subject more interesting. And, so that's something, Mark, maybe we should think about for you, because, some of the legal stuff and insurance and other things like that, people hear insurance and they go straight to sleep. But if we can incorporate some more fun elements into that might be a good idea that we could borrow from Ashley and from the book, as well. So, yeah. Some of the industries that we work with Instagram, Turbines Inc., they have a huge community of crop dusters that take videos of crop dusting, and just the teams, and it's almost a competitive sport. If you've ever seen these guys, they are absolutely amazing. And also they follow and support a lot of the fire activity, the firefighters that are dumping water or flame retardant or seeds or whatever. And so, there's a lot of very visual material. So Instagram just becomes a natural. And Turbines Inc. is our client. They service PT6 engines, and they'll also show, this is how an engine sounds if it's out of balance, or this is how you can tell if a bearing is off, or this is how you can tell if one of those blades has a nick in it. And so some of those how-tos they've done, I don't know if you've seen I don't remember if it's on the History Channel or whatever, the How It's Made series, where they have the music and then they show you, this is how this works. They have kind of a series like that where they talk about engine repair. And it's kind of for nerds, but it also attracts a lot of school kids and other folks, and they get a lot of engagement from that. So just, to share a couple of our clients and how they're using Instagram, you might think engine repair is boring, but they've managed to make it interesting by making it about their clients and also making those how it's made sort of deals. another idea, SSC, Special Services Corporation, they're located in Greenville, South Carolina. There is a hashtag, and hashtags are huge on Instagram. That's one of the things that they talk about in the book, is how to find the best hashtags and how to work that. And if you can find local variations, especially for your local FBOs and other things, where you have an angle where you want to get the attention of people that are local to you, there's a tag, that Greenville, that the Greenville Chamber of Commerce, I believe, started. Actually, I'm not sure who started it, but they kind of jumped on the bandwagon because there are many Greenvilles in the South. And so they started using, this is, that Greenville, meaning Greenville, South Carolina. And so, they are promoting a lot of the local businesses, the real estate people, the car dealerships, the other folks who tend to use their charter services and things. So that's kind of another really cool way of using it. That's the local angle and the hashtags. We have a flight school, Aerostar Training Services. Of course, they love to show this person got their certificate, this person did their first solo, this person did this person did that, so flight schools are great for the local angle, and also for images of action, images of people, anything along those lines. And the last one I'm going to talk about, and then we'll go around the room and you guys can share your ideas. Arthur Jackson, he is Arthur Jackson Aviation, and also he's the chief pilot for Floyd Mayweather. So Team Mayweather is basically everybody that works for Floyd Mayweather. He's a heavyweight fighter, and he has a private jet, and that is a big part of his brand. And so they go on all kinds of trips and show up all kinds of places. And of course, they get pictures with celebrities, and they get pictures in all these fabulous places and all these wonderful restaurants, and, just making us all jealous with the, what do you call that? The influencer lifestyle kind of images. And aviation lends itself really well to that. And some of our clients are super private because they are financial institutions, because they're in legal, because they're in other things. So we need to be sensitive to that. But some of our clients are auto dealers, attorneys that fly to see clients, other people that want the publicity of, being involved with that. And so, they love that influencer type of marketing as well. So that's a few ideas that I have from the industry. And of course, then, today we're talking about the book. So, there's a lot of ideas there. So if we want to go around the room kind of in the same order, if anybody has any ideas they want to throw in, or just go for it. If you are inspired to, that's
I'd say with this book, it's such a comprehensive manual that I would just pick one or two things out of it that look like something you'd be interested in and try it.
Yeah, we've got some type A personalities that if I gave them this book, and I did give them this book because, it's in our book club this month, I'm worried, maybe we should put a disclaimer on it saying, don't do everything.
Because you could spend your whole week doing that, not doing any other work if you did that book.
Right. And even if you did, it would look like you're trying too hard. I think what you want to do is take
too much.
one thing at a time, try it for a month, then try the next thing, and then the next thing. And this will sit on your shelf and it's not going anywhere. You don't have to do it in order or anything else. So that's cool.
Plus, then if you like it, you'll do it. You'll just fit it in.
Yeah.
Do
you have a favorite thing from the book, or a favorite thing that you'd like to share, Debbie?
I don't know. I didn't really take anything new out of the book. I didn't start doing anything new from the book, but a previous book I think we've read, I started doing the aviation quotes and the series and using Canva, and I added that to the mix of things I already did. So that probably added an additional third of the post I do. I say 30% of the post I do were from having done that in the past. So it's definitely worth trying something that interests you.
Mm-hmm.
that you're inclined to do.
That is for sure. And Mark, you've got a potential celebrity over there. I can see him.
This is my new business partner.
Oh,
What is his name?
It's a she. Name's
Yeah, I'm
Lily.
sorry. Lily. Okay.
she's very cute.
You know,
Lily
we should.
Parry.
Lily Parry.
She's
You know,
Amish.
She's Amish?
Yeah, well, I went down to Pennsylvania. It's about a 4-hour ride, and bought her from an Amish couple down there.
Oh, cool. Okay. So
What kind of dog is she?
It's a Cavapoo,
She's cute.
King Charles Cavalier with mixed with poodle.
Cool. You know what we should do is start making a series featuring Lily, you know, ask a question of the week and feature Lily somehow in those.
Well, they have that whole software where you can have your dog talk.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that earlier. You were just talking about your son uses his dog.
Yeah.
So maybe we could plug her in. I don't know.
Yeah, find a way to make that work. A tip of the week from Lily or something like that. Or
Yeah.
yeah, that's
But
cool.
she's a good one. She's a good dog in training.
Oh, good. I'm glad she's working out. That's cool. One of the things that I picked out from the book, well, actually two of them. One is, the triggers of engagement. I thought was a pretty good list, because if you think you're being boring, then you can go back and look at that and say, you know, am I using any of those engagement triggers? And, so a lot of times I will, and, don't tell anybody I said this, but I will rerun posts if they have done well, or even if they haven't done well, I'll try and tweak something about it and run it again to see if that will improve the, and I do that partly because I like to be the lab for aviation companies, so I can try something and say, this did this well when we did this, and then it did better when we did that. So doing an A/B split test kind of a scenario.
How much time do you leave between those?
I usually never run them within 6 weeks of each other. So I'm hoping that people will have forgotten them. And, nobody is sitting there looking at Instagram all day long every day. So, I think that's fairly safe to do. I don't know what you guys think if you rerun posts or if you have a...
I do that because I have planes to sell, and that's one of my products are not changing.
Right.
So I do tweak the post and repost it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I change the format that it is. Sometimes I take it from being like an Instagram, a single graphic, to a series of graphics. So they are, I can't even think, what do you call that?
Where it's a carousel?
Carousel.
Yeah.
I make them carousels, or I stretch them across. You can also break them, I use Illustrator. So sometimes I stretch the graphic across 3 squares and then post them as 3 squares. So I change the scale of it often.
And then it shows
post it as the same thing. Yeah.
Right.
How much time do you leave between those that you reuse?
Sometimes I do the same week, not the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or I'll post other things in between them.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will do it the same day, but I'll post a quote or some other information so it's not right next to each other.
Right.
Because people are not looking at Instagram at your feed all day.
No.
So I don't know what the likelihood of somebody seeing that looks at your feed, how do they look at it every day? It's hard to say.
Right.
Well, if somebody called you on it, all you got to do is say, oops, my bad.
Yeah, nobody ever has. They just like it anyway.
It's never a mistake. I mean, you'll notice.
It's pretty plain.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a mistake in social media. It's all intended, maybe not the way you thought to begin with. But, well, 2 things. One is, you remember how often they used to run commercials and how often they still run commercials on TV. That's because it's effective. Repetition is not a terrible thing. It builds brand equity and credibility. So, that said, I like to have it roll off of the profile. So it goes 9 or 12, depending on what device they're using, images so that it doesn't show up twice on my profile. If we were looking at Debbie's profile, which we were.
I have the same thing, but it's not exactly the same. So.
Yeah, exactly. So if we're looking at Debbie's scroll of her profile, and she's got a great example here that we were just looking at, you're not seeing the same thing twice on this screen, on her profile screen.
Well, sometimes there's two, you can see there's like different cropped sizes of the image. Sometimes it is the same plane, but it's not the same exact graphic.
It's a different crop or a different background or a different something. And some of these, as you can see, like this one here is a carousel where, the citation. Geez, I love this thing. This one here is a carousel, so you can click on that and you can see that it scrolls to 3 additional photos and things like that. So that's kind of cool. And then these two are 2 different infographics.
Yeah, do those once a week.
Yeah. That's another thing that I really like about what you do, Debbie, is those infographics, because you pack a lot of information into one screen, and it shows up in that nice, neat little square, and you can see, what's up, what's down, what's sideways, what's backwards, what's the market like, and so on. And Tylor, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Sorry, coming a little late.
That's all right. It's good to see you. So we're talking about Instagram and our favorite tricks and things to do with it. And is there anything that drives you crazy about Instagram? I guess we can go that direction. Anything you think works better on a different platform? I don't like the fact that you can't search by, I like LinkedIn personally because you can search in such granularity for users. And so for me, since most of my business is business to business, I can look for all of the MROs in my area and then look for the people with the specific job titles that I want to talk to. So the directors of marketing for MROs, is one type of person that I like to look for. And I can't do that in Instagram. So that's one thing I'm not crazy about.
No, you could actually look at Instagram and then go to LinkedIn to look for more information. I think you need to use all of them. I don't think it's like a singular thing.
Right. And I know if some of our younger folks were here, they would be all over, saying, here are all the advantages of Instagram over LinkedIn.
Yeah, maybe, but the younger people don't have the money. The guys have been around the block a couple times, and the girls have been around the block a couple times. They're the ones buying the big heavy iron and so on.
Depends what you're selling, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're selling flight training, your market is younger. So
exactly.
We're selling jets. I guess there's not a whole lot of people in their 20s we're selling to, but
but they do.
But we would if they wanted to buy one.
Right. And they do influence decisions,
Yes.
Because we've had people who are, crop duster fans and things like that tell their parents that they need to be looking at turbines, because of some stuff that they saw on Instagram. And, a lot of times it's the younger folks that are doing the research online because, their parents ask them, hey, go find me somebody that does this. Or help me with this, because these digital natives that grew up with phones in their hands, and all of the information on the planet at their fingertips, they just do this so natively that people ask them, and it's the younger folks on the staff often that are bringing these ideas into the office and making it all work. Tylor, are you on Instagram? And if so, what's your favorite tool to use to produce posts and things?
I'm totally unfamiliar with Instagram. I have no idea. Don't play on it. Facebook I'm not a social media person, really.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, you and John both, I think, are representing that contingent. And
if I had to pick one for entertainment and I wasn't interested, I'd pick Instagram over all the other ones.
Yeah.
Myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just for my, maybe Pinterest for my own personal entertainment.
Yeah.
But
mine used to be Facebook, but I find myself more and more on Instagram. And I think it's because it is so simple, so if I'm waiting in a line and I don't want to get too involved in something, but I just want to be entertained, then I have the opportunity to click for more information and read the captions and do other things and find out more if I want to. But if not, it's just entertaining to see.
It's less noise. It's like a quieter interaction.
Right. And I get to see what's going on in the industry, and I get to see what all my clients and friends are up to without getting too involved in it.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of time. Whereas, LinkedIn, I might feel like, I really need to get involved in this conversation and then end up spending 20 minutes having a not political, but, an intellectual conversation, which is just draining, if you're waiting in line.
You're in the line. You just want to goof off. Right.
Right. And it happens all the time that I'll be doing that in LinkedIn. I'll be starting something and I'm making like 3 main points and a conclusion and all this crazy stuff. And then it just disappears, because I'm waiting in line and I jostled my phone or something. So, Instagram really is the antidote for that, I think, because it's short and quick and stable and doesn't have any of those frustrations that we have sometimes with LinkedIn. Great. Well, does anybody else have anything they would like to add? Anything? I don't know if this is technically the book that we are talking about this week. Sometimes we get completely off the topic. There is a nice list of resources at the end. It's really cool. Different software and let's see, coaching and ongoing training, of course. And, they talk about analyzing your profile, things that you can find out, hashtag and follower management utilities, photo management utilities, business account management tools, turn your Instagram images into physical projects. They've got like a 1.5 pages on this, on how to take some of your best producing items and maybe turn them into tiles for your wall or something. It's just really cool, the things that he's compiled in this book. So I think it's definitely worth a read. I give it a thumbs up. I'm going to
keep it on my desk and look at it every so often and try some of those things.
Yeah. Great.
Is there any add on how to link all that together?
I wish. My favorite way of linking everything together, I use a tool called Meet Edgar, because it will post to just about everything. It does have some shortcomings. It's not perfect. It won't post video to LinkedIn, as an example. So there are a few little things that I have to do by hand still. But that is my tool of choice for posting in multiple places to multiple things. And I don't always make custom posts for Instagram. I will confess that I create posts a lot of times and all I do is resize them and stick them out there for everything. And that's, a way of saving time. And then I just use Meet Edgar to set up the post for the week. Then I can check the queue, make sure it's all the way I want it to be. And then I don't think about it again until the following week. That cuts the time that I spend managing social media down. And I manage about 20 accounts. And I spend probably, I'm between me and the people who are doing some of the work with us. How much time are we spending, John? You, me, and the people we pay. We're probably spending at least 10 hours a week managing social accounts. But it would be a lot more than that if we weren't doing batching and tools and scheduling and things like that. So Does anybody have a
Before
favorite
you got
scheduling
the
tool?
tool, you were spending 5 to 10 hours a week.
Yeah. And that was with fewer accounts.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do that because I don't mind Facebook because I'm on a lot of groups
Yeah.
that I follow. There's friends that are in groups that I'm in, car clubs, aviation. It's a lot of, not just friends and family. It's actually it's about 80% groups now.
Yeah.
And 20% friends and family on Facebook. So I actually do spend probably more time casually on Facebook.
Yeah. And Instagram has, the hashtags, but they don't really have the groups. That's not a feature of.
Yeah, I like the groups, but
I still do it by hand because I like to interact with people.
Yeah.
So I go and I look at people that follow me or that I follow and comment and sort of try to connect. That's what you're supposed to do that on social media. So that's one of the reasons I do it myself. And I kind of I get up, drink coffee, and I just do it all at once.
Nice.
And then I'm done.
Yeah. I do spend additional time during the week interacting. I just set up all the publishing at once. Yeah. So, Wendy, Ashley, any thoughts on any of this? Is there questions about tools? Because I think Debbie is probably the best person to ask as far as anything other than scheduling, since she does it all by hand, which is great. I wish I had that.
I'm quick though. I don't spend a lot of time. I have it all ready to go.
Yeah.
I have what I'm going to post in a text file, and I have the graphic there, and it doesn't. I do not spend any time at all doing it.
Right.
Just, maybe 10, 15 minutes to do it.
Right.
So it doesn't take long.
I guess I do. What would you say, I guess this is for everybody, what would you say typically as a whole does well best post-wise? What content or what type of post would you say is usually the thing that attracts the most attention?
Pretty planes with good color.
Pretty airplanes. Right.
Seriously.
Debbie and I were just
beautiful
talking
skies
last week, and she has a collection of skies and a collection of planes, and she will pick the perfect sky and the perfect plane,
mix them up,
and the perfect position in the sky for the perfect plane. And so that's part of the reason that hers do so well. And she also does moving backgrounds a lot. Those do really well. Your carousels do really well.
Yes, that's what I'd recommend, is doing carousels. Even if it's one picture, you can take that picture and put like the nose in one part, some part, the tail in another. People actually somehow are drawn to it not being a whole image. They, for some reason that draws people's eyes. And I do much, much better. And so do our competitors.
Yeah.
With carousels. That's how I figured out to do it.
Mark, what? I'm sorry?
I'm having trouble finding pictures like that I want to be able to, so that I can do those kind of posts like that.
Yeah.
Does he how I do it? I take a plane and I remove the background. And then I put it in a different background all the time. Unless it's on a runway, that is not the background that came with the plane. So I like the color to be like brighter because it helps people recognize it as us, and it draws people's eyes. And I'm more interested in looking at it. So it's not just, I just, like I said, I like to entertain people. So that would be my recommendation, is to make sure your stuff is colorful.
Yeah. So you can use the same plane. And Debbie has, I've seen it. She's used the same plane like 7 different times in different posts, and it always looks like a different plane. And
you can cut them out in Canva, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can cut out the background.
Use the background remover and then just set it on top of a different background.
I don't do that. I use Photoshop, but you can do it in other things. You
Yeah.
can probably do it in your phone sometimes.
Yeah.
If you look at what you have already.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing, is I wish all of our clients, except I mean, actually all of our clients without exception would get their phone out and take more pictures, because real pictures are so much better. They perform so much better on Instagram, even if you only use them every once in a while. Like Debbie would use those photos of Tom and the gang.
The sales guys who won't take pictures for me.
Oh, I know. But when they're at an event or something like that and they take pictures, those always do really well because it's authentic and it's them and it's their faces and, it shows
And
these are the people.
I'd recommend that any of you doing that. If you are in it or it's whoever's that you're trying to promote, have them take a selfie of themselves on the ramp with planes behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you get some sky in there too. Just
right. And this makes
do that as much as possible.
Yeah.
People love those.
Mm-hmm. And I know John and Tylor are both laughing because, they were not raised in the selfie culture where you just take pictures of yourself. It's just not done.
I did that at Oshkosh one year. I took
good.
pictures of me and the Marine airplane behind me,
Yeah. But, if you can be fun and, just kind of get over yourself and do it. John and I made him do that at Heli Expo. We stood in front of a couple of helicopters and had, and did pictures, and it was fun. We had our cowboy hats and all that. And it was and those do really, really well because it's you, and people want to see who they're doing business with, not some stuffy corporation, but real human beings who go to events and have a good time and are fun to interact with. So,
yeah, we have a really beautiful things that we interact with that a lot of other people don't see all the time.
Yeah.
So and I guess a lot of our followers aren't necessarily in our business on Instagram either.
That's true.
That doesn't really matter,
Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind the students and the other people that may not be potential customers that still interact with us and say, wow, that's really cool. What kind of helicopter is that? And it's like a 10-year-old kid, and that's okay. That's still fun and engaging, and other people like to get involved in that. So,
but I don't think it really matters to the algorithm. I think if you get more people looking at you, it's going to be suggested to people that should be looking at you too. So I don't think it hurts to have other people be interested.
Right. And I'm Paula Williams with ABCI. We help aviation companies sell more of their products and services.
John Williams, and I do the back end stuff. I work for her.
I'm Debbie Murphy with JetBrokers, and we help our clients buy and sell jets.
I'm Tylor Hall, Shrike Aviation. We're going to be an aviation maintenance company looking to raise some funding.
With American Aero, we're a fixed base operator offering ground handling and personalized service.
Nice. Wendy?
Hey, I'm Wendy Harris with the Av Center. We have many operations, but I'll use one for our charter, and that is we provide a service we like to tell our customers and our clients that time is money. And when they fly with us, we take care of them.
Nice.
Good pitch. Yeah.
Mark?
Mark Parry, Global Aircraft Consultant Group, certified bank, aircraft appraisals, expert witness, and insurance adjusting claims.
Fantastic.
And this is my partner, Lily Pad.
Yay! Well, next month, we're going to be reading Think Again by Adam Grant. And this is a little bit more of a philosophical book as opposed to a tactical book. We try to alternate so that, we're talking about business concepts versus, tools and things. So always sales and marketing, but always just aviation people. So it's going to be fun. And I hope you guys can join us for that. And we also do a topic conversation every month as well. So we're getting the schedule together for April and putting that in place. So I hope you join us for whatever you find useful. And it's always fun to meet people in the industry and always fun to have these kind of conversations. So, thank you.